FIFA spent an entire tournament writing Lionel Messi a fairy tale ending. Favorable referee appointments. A data set that statistically loved him more than his own family does. A halftime concert bigger than some entire country's GDP. Everything, and I mean everything, was pointed at one outcome. And Argentina still lost the final 1-0 with 0 shots on target. I want you to sit with that for a second. FIFA built the entire stage, hired the orchestra, wrote the script, cast Madonna as the narrator, and Argentina forgot their lines. This is the most expensive plot twist in the history of organized sport, and today, we're laughing at every single person who thought this was going to go differently. Let's get into it. FIFA appointed a referee for Argentina's semi-final who had already been nicknamed by actual football journalists Messi's favorite referee. Not a fan account, not a meme page. Credentialed journalists gave a referee a nickname like he was a golden retriever who only barks at strangers wearing different colored shirts. And it showed. 19 fouls in the first half of that semi-final. 2 yellow cards. For context, that's a card to foul ratio so generous that if this referee worked at a bar, he'd hand out 1 warning for every 10 fights. Here's the joke though. FIFA built this whole favorite referee apparatus, greased every wheel they could find. And then, in the one match that actually mattered, VAR reviewed Enzo Fernandez's tackle in the final and sent him off anyway. It's like spending your whole life building a getaway car and then locking your keys inside it on robbery day. Okay, quick pause. Because if you're 2 minutes into a video roasting FIFA's referee decisions with actual data behind it, and you're not subscribed to this channel yet, do it now, so you can come back for more roasting. We haven't even gotten to the throat grab yet. Okay, moving on. Researchers at Northeastern actually sat down and measured VAR intervention rates across this entire tournament. Argentina came out as one of the 2 most favored teams in the whole competition. Not one VAR call went against them through the knockout rounds. Somewhere out there is a football fan whose entire personality is the data doesn't lie. And for one tournament, the data was working overtime as Argentina's unpaid intern. And then the final happened, and the data clocked out early. 20 shots to 2, 12 on target to 0, an expected goals count of basically 2 goals to Argentina's rounding error of 0.2. You can rig a whistle. Nobody has yet figured out how to rig a football into actually going in the net, and Argentina spent 120 minutes proving that's still true. Let's time travel to round of 16. Argentina beat Egypt 3-2, and Egypt's own federation came out afterward and basically said the referee had been possessed by the ghost of Diego Maradona's handball. Egypt's manager stood in a press conference and floated, out loud, on camera, that there might have been pressure on the officials to keep Argentina alive. A manager, in a press conference, wondering if the fix was in. That's not a conspiracy theory anymore. That's a workplace complaint filed to HR. This is the match that turned Argentina from a niche joke into something the Ringer had to write about with a straight face. Somewhere, Pierluigi Collina had to hold an actual press conference defending his referees by name, which is a sentence that should not exist in football, and yet here we are. And it kept happening. Switzerland got a player sent off in the quarterfinal on a VAR overturn for simulation, and their whole camp lost their minds. Messi himself went studs up on an Algerian player in the group stage and didn't even get a stern look, let alone a card. Ghana got a penalty that split the entire internet in half. Belgium got a handball shout waved away without a second glance. Harry Kane fouled someone, got away with it clean, then got handed a penalty of his own days later against Mexico, like the football gods were handing out participation trophies. None of these prove anything on their own. Put them all in the same room together though, and it starts looking less like coincidence and more like FIFA running a tournament-long focus group on how much bias football fans will tolerate before they start Googling conspiracy theories at midnight. And here's my favorite detail in this entire saga. The same researcher who built the Northeastern dataset went out of his way to say this measures missed fouls VAR later caught, not proof of a plot, which is the most polite way anyone has ever said, "I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm just going to leave this extremely suspicious chart right here." Now look, I have to be fair here, because even a roast video has rules, and rule 1 is you don't roast the guy who did nothing wrong. Messi's actual game in the final was quiet. 1 touch in the first 15 minutes. Anonymous is generous. His single moment of actual fire the entire match was turning to the referee like a kid at recess because Mark Cucurella covered his mouth while talking to him. The greatest player alive, reduced to tattling. I say that with love, but it's objectively the funniest thing that happened to a man who's won everything there is to win in this sport. And to his credit, when it was over, he didn't grab anybody's throat. He shook hands, sat on the grass, and cried, which, compared to his teammates' behavior in the same 10 minutes, makes him look like the only adult chaperoning a field trip that's gone completely off the rails. And then the final arrived, and it was like watching someone win the lottery and then lose the ticket on the walk home. Enzo Fernandez, already booked for sarcastically clapping at the referee, genuinely dissent for clapping, went studs down through a teenage Spanish defender in stoppage time. VAR looked at it for about 4 seconds and sent him off. If there was ever a moment the machine needed to protect Argentina, this was it. And the machine simply declined to answer the phone. 10 men, 30 minutes of extra time to defend. 39 seconds into the second period, Ferran Torres buried it. Somewhere, whoever built this entire favorable officiating apparatus for an entire tournament was sitting there like a screenwriter watching the actors improvise a different ending live on set. Then came the part that made this whole thing genuinely funny instead of just statistically interesting. Seconds after the final whistle, Nahuel Molina swung an arm at Rodri. Rodri, quite reasonably, did not enjoy that. Eric Garcia stepped in to back his captain up, and Leandro Paredes, a man who had done absolutely nothing all match to suggest he was capable of restraint, grabbed Garcia by the throat and threw him to the ground. Then went after Gavi. This is the reigning world champions in the final minute of their reign, deciding the best way to spend it was auditioning for a wrestling promotion. Then, when Spain went up to collect the trophy, Argentina turned their backs on the ceremony entirely. You could not write a more perfect final scene if you tried. A team that spent the whole tournament allegedly getting the benefit of every doubt, losing the one game that counted, and then refusing to even watch someone else get handed the trophy they didn't win. And let's not forget the other half of FIFA's master plan, the halftime show. Shakira, Madonna, BTS, Coldplay, a full Super Bowl-style spectacle bolted onto the World Cup final, running nearly double the length the actual laws of the game allow. 2 teams sat cooling down in a tunnel while a concert happened on the exact grass they needed to warm back up on. FIFA clearly wanted a fairy tale so badly, they built an entire stage for one. They just forgot to check whether the main character's teammates could actually finish the story. Add in the American president getting booed loudly at the trophy ceremony, and this final had more subplots than the concert itself. Genuinely, picture the meeting where someone at FIFA pitched this. What if, right after the most watched football match on the planet, we book Coldplay to sing about love for 27 minutes while the players' legs go cold, and everybody in that room said yes. Multiple people signed off on that. That's the real conspiracy here, not the referees, the scheduling department. So here's the actual verdict, and it's the happiest kind of ending there is. The data says Argentina probably did get favorable treatment through most of this tournament. That part is documented, not fan fiction. FIFA denies it, points to other contentious calls elsewhere, and honestly, fine, maybe it's inconsistency instead of a plan. But it does not matter, because none of it worked. You cannot referee a shot on target into existence. You cannot VAR your way to a goal. Spain didn't need a fair whistle to beat this Argentina team. They needed one moment of discipline from Enzo Fernandez, and he couldn't give them that either. Every favorable call in the world couldn't save a team that had nothing left to give in the moment that actually mattered. If FIFA really was trying to gift wrap this tournament for Messi, football took the wrapping paper off, laughed, and handed the trophy to somebody else anyway. So tell me, funniest part of this whole meltdown? The Paredes throat grab, the turned backs on the podium, or Enzo Fernandez getting booked for clapping? Drop it below. And hey, if you laughed even once during this video, you know what to do. Hit subscribe, it costs nothing, and keeps this channel roasting FIFA properly, instead of pretending everything in football is fine. Tournament retrospectives still coming, and trust me, there's more where this came from.